Hello everybody and welcome to this week's New Japan Pro Wrestling Weekly with me, your host Smoothman. This week has been a very busy week of wrestling with round 1 and round 2 of the New Japan Cup. This video will look at all the matches and the winners of round 1 and round 2. We're not going to go through every single match, however we are going to look at some of the marquee matches that did happen over this first and second round. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it then and look at round 1. With round 1, we're not going to go in any particular order about the night that they happened. We're just going to go through the bracket. Most of these pretty much happened in sort of close proximity in terms of the nights that they were on. So Yuji Nagata and Tomohiro Ishii was one of the first matches. It was the main event, I think, of night 1. Tomohiro Ishii won that one. It was a hard-hitting match. Lots of striking. But Ishii came out with the win with that one. Honma and Taichi. Taichi won this match. He is channeling some of the Isuka stuff after the retirement match that he had. He has Isuka's iron glove and even came through the crowd during his entrance, which is something that Isuka used to do quite a lot. But Taichi came out with a win against Honma there. Yoshihashi beat Nakanishi with a butterfly lock. Juice Robinson and Chase Owens. I thought Juice Robinson was probably going to be a bit more prominent in this, but unfortunately lost to Chase Owens. Kazuchika Okada versus Michael Elgin was one of the marquee matches that I watched. It was very much a all Elgin power at the majority of this match. There were many different kind of spots where they tried to exchange each other's moves, both looking for the Rainmaker, and it even got to a point where Okada had to use some of Elgin's moves to get the upper hand. Okada eventually won by able to reverse and counter some of the finisher attempts from Elgin and was able to deliver a tombstone and a Rainmaker to win. We then had Mikey Nicholls and Hikuleo. Mikey Nicholls used to be one half of TM61 over in NXT. He used to be in New Japan before that and Pro Wrestling Noah. He's come back to New Japan with a very mad Mikey Nicholls attitude and was able to get the win over Hikuleo with his Mikey Bomb, similar to a Blue Thunder Bomb. Will Osprey versus Bad Luck Fale, another one of my key matches, mainly because I really enjoy watching Osprey matches. This was very much big, strong Bad Luck Fale against the quickness and the speed of Will Osprey. Will Osprey was targeted numerous times by Fale and Jado, who was accompanying Fale to the ring, on his ribs. There was spots to the ring post, to the outside. There was also kendo stick action when the ref was down. Will Osprey was able to try and deliver many Os cutters and failed due to the fact that Bad Luck Fale could just get out of them or just swat him out of the sky. He was able to block Jado's attacks again with the kendo stick, able to then give out some attacks with the kendo stick to take him out of the match when the ref was down. Osprey tried numerous more Os cutters, but unfortunately was unable to get the win with those. Bad Luck Fale went for the Bad Luck Fall, but was able to be countered by Osprey into a Hurricane Rana, so that Will Osprey won the match. The ending of the match wasn't very smooth and clean. It didn't look how it was supposed to look. Osprey struggled to try and roll the Hurricane Rana through as quickly as he could with Bad Luck Fale because of his size. But the ending, he was trying to hold his legs and it just didn't look as smooth. But no matter what, I think Will Osprey is being very much pushed so far in this cup, and we'll see more of that in a bit later. We then had Lance Archer versus Toa Henare, something that I didn't watch too much of. Lance Archer came out with the win over there. On the other side of the bracket, Tanahashi versus Shota Umino, very good match. Shota Umino is a young lion. I think he's the first young lion to ever be in a New Japan Cup first round match, or any match, so to speak. He had a very good match against Tanahashi. It looked like he was going to get the win over Tanahashi. They were trading kind of Boston Crab moves, Cloverleafs, which is Tanahashi's main submission move. But unfortunately, Shota Umino came up short. Tanahashi was able to deliver his own Cloverleaf for a tap-out win. Tenzan versus Taguchi. Taguchi is being the replacement for David Finlay, and Taguchi won that match against Tenzan. Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito, which is my match of the tournament so far. Definitely match of the first round. Ibushi and Naito were literally trying to decapitate each other using spots to their neck. So we had an outside, numerous apron spots, one with a draped neckbreaker off the middle rope. We then had another one where Abushi was trying to deliver a German suplex while he was stood on the ropes, and Naito was on the outside. He couldn't get it off. Naito was then able to get him into some sort of tombstone on the apron, and it looked horrendous, really horrific, and very, very good match. It was won eventually by Kota Ibushi after numerous attempts of the Destino by Tetsuya Naito, but it was the knee strike of Kota Ibushi, the Kamigoye, after numerous different style kind of neck moves. So Kota Ibushi won that one. Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr. This is the counter versus counter match. At any point it looked like either of these were going to win because of how well they could counter each other's submissions and holds and pin attempts. There were many combinations where it looked like Zack Sabre Jr. may have got a quick submission win over Evil, but then Evil turned the tables very quickly and it looked like he was going to be over as well. It ended the match with a submission by Zack Sabre Jr. He was able to get Evil in a submission which was like an octopus stretch, but he then took him to the ground and was able to stretch the legs as well, pretty much holding every body part, and was able to get the win via submission. We then had Togi Makabe versus Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana won that one. Toriano versus Davey Boy Smith in a very, very quick match. Toriano won that one. Kojima versus Suzuki, which was won by Suzuki, and then Hiroki Goto versus Sanada, which was won by Sanada. That therefore concluded round 1. So in round 2, we'll look at those matches and who was facing who next. Let's get into the round 2 matches then. Round 2 matches started with Tomohiro Ishii versus Taichi. This match was probably one of my other marquee matches of round 2. It was a very good match. Taichi was delivering a lot of different moves, which were very different in style to Ishii. Ishii is a very hard striker, whereas Taichi can use his kicks, his strikes, his kind of athletic ability. He is a previous junior heavyweight. It looked like as if Ishii was probably going to be the one who's going to come out with the win with this one. But again, Taichi trying to cheat, get the microphone in the stand. It looked like he was going to go for the Iron Glove of Iska, but he didn't. He then threw away the microphone and just said, look, let's do this properly. Constant exchanging of strikes in many different parts of this match, and even a few power bombs, last ride power bombs. Ishii was able to get into the match with a power driver, and somehow Taichi stood straight up after it and attacked Ishii, but then both men ended up down. I thought this was a really cool spot. I've never ever seen anybody get out of a power driver immediately after it. Obviously, the commentators dubbed this as the adrenaline he's trying to get through and just show that resilience. Ishii and Taichi back and forth throughout the end of this match. Taichi used the ref to distract him to get a low blow. There was a near fall after that that low blow, but Ishii was able to get a sliding lariat and a vertical brainbuster in to get the win. After that match, we had Yoshihashi versus Chase Owens. This is a match that I didn't really see as a marquee match out of all of the second round matches. That was won by Yoshihashi. Okada versus Mikey Nichols, another one of my marquee matches of round 2. I've not seen a lot of Mikey Nichols in singles competition. I've only ever seen him in TM61 and back in NXT, and even that was very, very rare. There was very little matches that I'd seen of him. Nichols was a very aggressive, very mean attitude. There was a lot of change of momentum between Nichols and Okada. Both of them are in chaos, so obviously the respect within chaos was there, but it looked like as if it was being kind of pushed a little bit. There was a segment of counter exchanges between Nichols and the marquee, his marquee bomb and the Rainmaker. He was able to deliver the spinning Rainmaker and then another after that for the win. This was the second match where I thought at one point Okada wasn't going to make it through the match and was going to lose previously. This then is going to really set up the next match, a really, really tasty tie. And I'm going to say who the winner of that match is now, because that's the next match that we're going to go into. And that match was Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer. Lance Archer was defeated by Will Ospreay. Again, this was another big heavyweight. He was 6'7", Lance Archer, I believe, against Will Ospreay. And my God, Will Ospreay again pulling out all of the stops to get the win. Ospreay started very quickly. Archer was pretty much using his strength to hold Ospreay up. He used him and pushed him into the ring post, into the barricade. There was a bit where he tried to flip over the barricade, did Ospreay, to try and to deliver a quick strike. But again, he was just kind of caught in midair around the throat and was able to be flipped onto the outside. It looked like as if Ospreay had met his match, and it looked like Archer was really going to win. At many points during this match, every time Ospreay tried to deliver a series of good quick moves, it looked like Archer knew what was coming and was able to stop it. Ospreay was able to even deliver a Spanish fly to a man who's 6'7", a very amazing feat to do. And Ospreay is just going from strength for strength in ring as a competitor, even with his recent injuries. There's a few times where Ospreay was trying to deliver the Stormbreaker, but again, Archer was just a little bit too strong, a little bit too tall to lift. Archer hit Ospreay with the blackout. Ospreay kicked out of it. This is something that is very rare from what I heard on the commentary. I don't know too much about Archer, but apparently not many people can kick out of the blackout, but Ospreay did. Again, showing that they're really pushing Ospreay during this tournament. Ospreay was then on the top rope and evaded Archer, was able to deliver cheeky Nando's kick to allow Ospreay to collect Archer on his shoulders for the Stormbreaker to get the win. I kind of put in my notes, is this going to be Will Ospreay's tournament? Now that Tetsuya Naito is out, I think Will Ospreay is one of my favourites to win. Big shock, I know, but out of that side of the bracket, it looks like it could be Ospreay, but again, he's got to go up against Okada in the next round, which is probably one of the most tastier ties on that side of the bracket, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Could this be where Ospreay and Okada maybe branch away? There has been a bit of tension on some of the tag team matches earlier in some of the other matches before the New Japan Cup, with some things that I haven't watched but I've read about. Could this be Chaos maybe imploding a little bit? Who knows? On the other side, we had Tanahashi versus Taguchi. This match was won by Tanahashi. Wasn't really a match that I was too excited about with some of the other matches that were happening, so I kind of skipped that one. Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Again, this was a really good match. I think this, for me, was a match of round 2. It was very much Ibushi trying to use his quick attacks, his kicking ability, his striking ability against Zack Sabre Jr., who's very much the submission and hold specialist. Abushi, throughout the match, really looked like he wasn't going to get the win. And it was very much all Zack Sabre Jr. There were many a time that Zack Sabre Jr. caught Ibushi in some of his moves. So one of them, he countered a moonsault into a kind of a submission. There was another one where Abushi, there was lots of reversals from a package tombstone. It was a very, very good match, very technical match, especially from Mr. Sabre Jr. The match was won by Zack Sabre Jr. Ibushi tried the Kamigoye, but Zack turned it into a submission and was able to get what is called the orienteering, with Napalm Death, a submission where again all limbs are pretty much taken out of the equation. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to get to the rope, but he did eventually tap out, and Zack Sabre Jr. won, which was very much the dismay of the fans. The fans are obviously rooting for Abushi after what happened at Wrestle Kingdom, as he's coming back into the fray over at New Japan. Is this a shock? Definitely. I definitely thought Abushi, if he could get through Naito, would probably go a little bit further, but Zack Sabre Jr., last year's winner, coming out very strong. Colt Cabana versus Toru Yano was one of those matches where it was hilarious, lots of funny little spots. So Yano was trying to do his cheating where he tries to take off the pads on the turnbuckles. There was like a rolling spot where every time Yano threw Cabana back into the ring, he rolled out to the other side. On the third attempt, Yano was just running around the ring trying to stop and cut him off. It was really funny to watch. Cabana then used some tape to kind of tape down one of the corner pads, something that Yano does a lot, obviously. But he did eventually take off the blue pad, tried the red pad and saw it was taped. Then took another pad off, one of the neutral pads. It was just really silly. Match where Red Shoes, the referee, added to it as well, where they were passing around the pads between each other. Yano tried to win with the pad, it hit the rope and hit him in the face, and then Cabana used his Superman pin to win the match, much to the surprise of Colt Cabana. I don't think he was expecting to win. It was a very short match, but a lot of fun. And finally, Minoru Suzuki versus Sanada. This was a very, very good match as well. This was the match that I literally have just watched about half an hour ago as the event finished. It was very technical between the two. A lot of holds to start the match. Suzuki worked on Sanada's knee a lot, using the ring post, using the ring, the barricades, kicking his knee when it was on the barricade, using a chair. Suzuki was then forcing a lot of submissions onto the knee of Sanada, and there was some really brutal forearms. Some of the ones that were connecting with Sanada sounded brutal, something that I've seen and heard live when I went to see New Japan wrestle in the Rev Pro event. It's horrible to hear in real life, never mind on TV or on New Japan World. Suzuki and Sanada look to kind of exchange their sleeper holds. Sanada's is called the skull end. There was quite a lot of attempts of their finishes, and it was just not one man was able to get hold of the match and try and get a win. The end of the match, it looked like as if there was just a constant reversal of different sleepers, and Suzuki was using the knee while Sanada had the skull end, and then it was just back and forth. Sanada eventually got Suzuki so far in the skull end that it looked like Suzuki was out, but Sanada decided to let go for the pin and got a near fall. It looked like, could this be where Suzuki actually comes back and wins it? But Sanada eventually was able to drag Suzuki into the middle of the ring for a moonsault and was able to get the win. It looked like Suzuki was going to win it throughout, but again, that resilience from Sanada really, really came through and was very, very good. So that concludes round 2. So now that round 1 and round 2 of the New Japan Cup is in the books, let's just have a quick look at the quarterfinal matches. Here is the bracket. Tomohiro Ishii versus Yoshihashi. I think out of those two, my pick for that is Tomohiro Ishii. Okada versus Will Osprey. Again, my heart says Will Osprey. My head is leaning towards Okada. I would love to see both of these men win the tournament. Okada to win it, to then get back at Jay White for him turning on his back on him, having a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom where Jay White won, and this time Okada going to try and win that title. Will Ospreay is being pushed a lot recently. He's clearly doing that transition from junior heavyweight to heavyweight. Is this the tournament that puts him firmly in the heavyweight picture to have that match against Jay White? I would love to see that again. It was great at the anniversary event. I'd love to see it one more time, but for a title. Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Again, Tanahashi could come through with the win and have another win of the New Japan Cup as he's coming towards the end of his career. Or Zack Sabre Jr., he's looking like he's really going to try and stop anybody who's going to take the cup from him. He won it last year. Can he win it 2 years on the trot? Colt, Cabana and Sanada. This is probably one of the lesser matches out of the 4 that are left. I think out of this, it's probably going to be Sanada. And that concludes my thoughts over what's happened in this past week. If you did enjoy that video, please put a like on there for us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you've got any comments about the New Japan Cup, drop them down below. Do you agree with what I've said, or do you think I'm talking complete nonsense? Who knows? I am very new to this, so your opinion is probably better than mine. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.